Hi, welcome to the Vegan Food Channel. Today we're going to teach you guys how to make, from scratch, a soy-based, homemade, deep dish pizza. Okay, as before in all of our other episodes, you need the following ingredients to make your homemade bread. Smart Balance blend of oils. It's canola, soy, and olive. You're going to need 1/4 cup of that. You're going to need 1 package of yeast. And you're going to need 3½ cups of flour. Now, you're also going to need 1 cup of water. We're going to go ahead and prep for our homemade pizza. Now, to make the homemade pizza, you got to make the bread dough, which takes about an hour almost, about 50 minutes for the bread to rise. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to use this whole wheat flour. Now, we're going to actually mix it with the all-purpose flour because we want the bread dough to rise. So, you're going to want to put about 1.5 cups of the wheat flour, and you're going to put in 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Now you can flip that to whichever way you want. You can put more wheat or more all-purpose. But today we're splitting it half and half. Okay, so now that we've blended our 2 flours together, we're adding in our yeast. Now what we're going to do is we're going to mix the dough and the yeast, the 2 dry ingredients, together first. The reason you're doing that is because that'll help get in the yeast into the flour so that when you do pour the oil and the water in, that it'll evenly be together. So now we're going to go ahead and add 1/4 cup of oil. Like I said, I usually almost always judge it. If you're a little under, no biggie. Okay, so you're going to want to add a hot water to your dough mixture, because the reason is it's going to help to activate the yeast. So now we're going to go ahead and mix this bread dough up and make it dough. So we're not going to show you the whole process, but I like to use my hands. It's a lot easier. So I'm just going to get working on this, and I'll be back in a couple minutes when the bread dough is done. Okay, so our bread dough is done. It's got to rise. So we want to flour the pan just slightly, and we're going to put the dough in here and spread it out for our pizza. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to let this dough rise in this pan and use this pan to cook our pizza. So we're going to go ahead and finish spreading this dough out, and then we're going to go ahead and let it rise, and we'll come back. Okay, so our bread dough is done. It's pretty good. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to rub the dough into a position. The easiest way to curl up an edge is to pinch the edge out first in the pan, like this, and then the rest from the inside will go back into that spot, because when you pinch it out, you pretty much spread it so thin you can, get to the bottom. That's why you push in from the center to squeeze that all out right here on this edge right here. So we're going to go ahead and do that real quick here. So you're just going to beat the inside. Okay, so to add our toppings to our pizza, we're going to use the Morningstar soy Italian sausage, and we're going to use the Ease soy pepperoni, which right here is still frozen, you have to defrost. Then we're going to use the Veggie Shreds soy-based cheese. You're going to need a little bit of pasta sauce, so you're probably not going to want a jar this big. You're going to need any other toppings you want, plus a little bit of veggie Parmesan cheese and your spices. Some onion, a little bit of garlic, and a little bit of crushed red pepper. Now, on this pizza, we're actually going to be putting in actual small cut-up pieces of peppers, and those are going to go in on top as the top. You're going to pour a little bit of sauce, a very thin layer, like literally a thin layer, on the dough. That'll kind of soften the bread, and at the same time get it prepared for doing the deep dish. Okay? Okay, next you're going to take your soy cheese and you're going to sprinkle that into the pan onto your dough. Now the reason we're doing the cheese first is because the cheese will act like a barrier once it melts to prevent all the sauce from going into your bread dough, making your bread dough soggy. Now the reason we put just a little to begin with is because you want just a little get in there to soften the bread a little bit. So now we're going to add just a little more cheese. Okay, so once you've laid a nice layer of Parmesan cheese, of shredded cheese, you're going to want to sprinkle just a tiny bit of Parmesan cheese. Now, once our toppings have been added, we're going to sprinkle that with a little bit more cheese on top, like this, and then we're going to add the sauce. Alright, now, you're going to want to pour the sauce on as evenly as possible to cover the entire top of the pizza. So, now that we've covered the entire top of this pizza here with actually almost a whole can of Hunt's, we're going to go ahead and show you guys how to do the crust now. So, you're going to use Smart Balance spray. Basically, it's Pam in a can. Smart Balance. And you're just going to tap the edges. With some of this oil. Not a lot, though. And then, you're going to take your garlic and put that along the side here. So we're going to get back to that and when we're done, and we'll be right back. So, you can't really see too well, but we added garlic, and then we went ahead on top of that and sprinkled Parmesan on it. So, now that we've buttered, we've garlicked, and Parmesan the crust, we're going to put some foil over this, and we're going to throw it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 15-20 minutes, and then we're going to go check on it, and we'll be back in a few minutes. Now, another thing you're going to want to know is that when your pizza is probably about halfway cooked, you can come, or you can do it now, but you can come and add your cheese then. But we're going to actually do this now to save time, and we're just going to sprinkle basically a light little topping, little layer of soy cheese on top of our pizza. And then, like I said, we're going to bake it in the oven, and we'll be back with the finished product in about 15-20 minutes. Okay, so we've actually pulled our pizza out to check it, and really it's not even done. Not all the cheese is melted. So what we're going to do is, now it's uncovered, we're going to go ahead and throw it back into the oven for about 5 to 10 more minutes. Okay, everyone, and here is the final results of our pizza. Alright, everyone, I want to thank everyone for watching the Vegan Food Channel. Check us out next week when we teach you guys how to make biscuits and gravy. Have a great day, and don't forget to rate, subscribe, and favorite the Vegan Food Channel. Thanks for watching.